NFL player props here for Sunday, December 11th. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit. Currently, still got the Justin Herbert free square here at 0.5 pass yards here. You can bet up to $20, I believe, on this one. So again, if you're not yet on PrizePicks, link in the description below, or promo code TUFF for 100% deposit match. We also have a Discord link in the description of this video where the main server completely free, as well as Patreon link where I do post all the plays here that I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do in fact play. But let's get into it. Two props here that I like from the Sunday slate here. Now, these two plays are going to be from the morning and afternoon slate. I'm going to have a separate video for Sunday Night Football and obviously a separate video for Monday Night Football. So keep this in mind. This is just for the morning games, afternoon games here for Sunday, December 11th. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first one I'm targeting here, I do also need to mention I'm not a gambling expert, not financial advice, simply just the plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. Use the information I give you, combine it with the research you've gathered, and then make your decisions from that. People be talking crazy to me when the plays that I give don't hit. It's like, anyways, let's get into it, you guys. Two props that I like. First one is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I'm targeting his over 7 receptions here against the Minnesota Vikings. So just right off the bat, this has the highest over-under on the day at 51. This is going to be played indoors here. The Vikings are honestly, the Lions, are honestly surprisingly a very entertaining team to watch, and have been in a ton of shootouts, right? So, and they've been actually able to score the football on good defenses. So, Vikings pass defense is horrendous, so I expect this to be an aerial shootout here, being played indoors at Ford Field. Overall, there's not going to be any weather affecting the passing game for either of these teams. 51 over under. I think this might even bump up to 52 eventually by the time the game starts. But Amon-Ra St. Brown has now had at least 7 receptions in his last 4 games, 10, 7, 9, and 11. Has seen a massive target share pretty much all season. He's got 8 games with at least 9 targets, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12. And if we take a look at this, he's coming off a game where he got 12 targets, 11 catches for 114 yards. The game before that, 10 targets, 9 catches against a stingy Buffalo defense on Thanksgiving. 8 targets, 7 catches against New York Giants in the cold, and then 11 targets, 10 catches against Chicago in the cold as well. So this is the first time in a while he's played, actually, I think an indoor game where the weather's not going to affect really anything here. The Vikings, though, just a great matchup for Amon-Ra. Second most receptions on the season here. The Vikings give up, if we take a look at catch percentage right here, they're 4th in the NFL in catch percentage. 2 wide receivers. Targets here, second most targets, 263. Overall pass yards, the most yards to wide receivers at 2,436. We've been targeting wide receivers against the Vikings all season long. Their pass defense is really their downfall, which is why they've been in a ton of shootouts and why this game has extremely high over-under. Amon-Ra over the last 4 weeks has seen the 4th most targets in the NFL, 10.3 targets per game, averaging 10.5 yards per target, which is the most in the NFL. 41 targets here through his last 4 games, and the most receptions by 6 receptions right here. 37 receptions through the last 4 games, which is the most in the NFL. Second highest is Devontae Adams at 31. So 37 catches for Amon-Ra St. Brown over the last 4 games here, and now he gets an A++ matchup here against the Vikings pass defense, which is just not good at all. Like I said, right here, catch percentage 4th in the NFL, targets 2nd in the NFL, total yards 1st, and then receptions 2nd in the NFL. So great matchup here for Amon-Ra, the highest over/under on the slate, indoor matchup. I just think this is going to be a shootout. I just don't see a way Amon-Ra doesn't get 7 catches. I think he could easily get, if we're taking a look at this, I think he's going to get somewhere around 12 plus targets in this game if this game is a shootout, which I'm expecting, and Vegas is obviously expecting as well. So 7 catches here. I think at bare minimum, this is a push, in my opinion. I just don't see a scenario where he doesn't get 7 catches just based on the volume. And based on what kind of the game script's going to be looking like. So Amon-Ra St. Brown over 7 receptions is going to be the first play here that I like. The second prop is going to be a pass yards prop, and it's going to be an under. I'm going to take under Josh Allen under 260.5 pass yards. Now, again, by the time this video is live, this line may have bumped down already. Again, I can't control that at all. So, let me know in the comments below. I probably like this down to 255. 258.5. I mean, if we take a look at this, some sports books already have this at 254, right? At 254, this is at minus 115 on the under. At 256 is the consensus. But I mean, like consensus is 254. It opened at 256. DraftKings has minus 130 at 255. So a significant discount here. It's minus 130 on DraftKings at 255.5. We're seeing it on PrizePicks currently at 260.5. So again, like I said, I still like this probably down to 255.5. Josh Allen has not hit this in 4 of his last 5, right? 4 of his last 5 games. We're starting to kind of see the Bills running game really get going, right? 4 of his last 5, he hit the over on this against Minnesota, which is obvious. Just massive shootouts. Minnesota's pass defense is horrendous, which is why it goes back to the Omar St. Brown play. This is the only time he's hit this in his last 6 games. So 218 against Green Bay, who has elite pass defense. 205 against the Jets, right? And that's who he's playing, right? But we'll get into that in a second. So, it hasn't hit this under in 5 of his last 6 games here, right off the bat. And again, like I said, facing the New York Jets defense, who he faced already this season at New York and went 18 for 34, had 205 pass yards here. So we're getting a 55 yard, cushion compared to his last game against the Jets. And I think the Jets secondary and defense overall has only gotten better. The Jets defense on the year, giving up the 3rd lowest yards per attempt to quarterbacks, 6.41 yards per attempt to quarterbacks. Overall pass yards, giving up the 4th fewest pass yards to quarterbacks at 2,563. And then completion percentage, extremely low as well. Right here, the Jets right here, 12th, 250 completions, which is good for, I don't know, what is this, like 10th in the NFL. But yards per attempt, the Jets, 6.41. If we sort this by the last 4 weeks, they've really honestly been locked in to quarterbacks. Yards per attempt, the Jets. We sort this by hitting right here, 13th, 6.87 yards per attempt. And overall, pass yards to quarterbacks, the Jets are here 3rd. Only 598 pass yards over the last 4 weeks. Quarterbacks on this season, we've only seen one quarterback go over this against the Jets. One single quarterback, Joe Burrow, had 275, which he barely went over. And that was, look at this, that was at the 3rd game of the season when he went for 275, right? 3rd game of the season. So just take a look at this date. Right, these last Jets have allowed Kirk Cousins 173, Simeon, which obvious 179, Mac Jones 246, Josh Allen 205, Mac Jones 194, Brett Ripien 225, Aaron Rodgers 246. Just in general, they haven't faced like crazy elite quarterbacks here, but only one quarterback going over 260.5 to me is pretty crazy. But another reason I'm targeting this play here is because of the weather. It's looking like it's going to be in Buffalo. 50% snow, 50% chance of snow, 11 mile per hour winds here, 32 degrees. One of the lowest over-unders on the slate. Let's check the ESPN over-under on this one. One of the lowest over-unders, 43 here. So, you can see 41 here, Jags Titans. But one of the lowest over-unders on the slate here, elite Jets defense. And it's looking like it's going to be snowing. It's looking like it's going to be snowing here. Temperature is going to be 35, 36, 35, 35 for those first 4 quarters. Feels like 28. 10 mile per hour winds coming from the southwest. And snow, possible light snow. So going to be snowing here. Going to be extremely cold for these quarterbacks to really thrive in the pass game. Elite Jets defense, elite secondary, obviously a division rivalry game. Fighting for playoff position here, fighting for a chance to win the division here as well. Again, sports books have this at 255, 254, 256, 255. Under 251. FanDuel has this under 251 at minus 114. So, again, keep that in mind here. Great value currently on PrizePicks. I've posted this play on Patreon. So, if you're in the Patreon, I'm not telling you to join the Patreon, but I'm just saying people that are in the Patreon, I gave you guys this play. It's Friday morning here. So, multiple days before this game starts. 260 under for Josh Allen, 260.5. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, over 7 receptions. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these plays. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.